Hello everyone, my name is Ian Benoit. Those of you who have been watching Omerkada Pictures for a while now know that I did a collaboration on here recently. Today I am joined with two very influential gentlemen who have started me off on my reviewing of the Dragons series. Gentlemen, would you care to introduce yourself, please?
Hello, my name's John Murphy of Omerkada Pictures, formerly known as Clapboard Reviews, and really excited to be doing this.
And I am Tyler Theisen. I like to say I'm still a part of Omerkada Pictures. I'm just on hiatus. I still keep in touch. Kind of like right now.
It's great to have everybody here. It's been a while since we've seen Tyler, and it's great to have you on board with us today.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it feels great to be back. I missed it actually.
All right, so everyone who's watching or listening, since this is more of a podcast conference format, today we will be going over all of the not episodes, just Race to the Edge as a whole. What we liked, what we didn't like, favorite moments, what could be improved on, and we're just gonna have some fun.
And I've been wanting to do this since the end of season 4, and I'm now glad I get to do this. You know, have just a little final thoughts video.
And with the conclusion of season 6, there is certainly a lot of final thoughts to go with this because.
Yeah.
To be honest, gentlemen, how did you view season 6 here?
Season 6 by itself was actually, for me, it was actually better than season 4 because it was originally supposed to be the final season before the release date for the third movie got pushed back again. Which when we start to get into the series as a whole, I actually have a way to categorize the seasons. But yeah, it was kind of exactly what I thought, what I felt like the whole final season should have been, like an epic battle between the hunters and riders and dragons all around, and we kind of got that in the very final season. And I'm just still shocked and surprised and in awe that pretty much all the dragons came back.
Agreeable in some aspects. I mean, there's a lot of... Season 6 is definitely better than Season 5. I'm not going to footsie around that. Season 5 wasn't the best. Season 6 actually was good. The only problem I had was the villain is not even that great of a villain.
Johan?
Tell me, how often do you actually see him doing his evil deeds? In fact, did he do anything other than take a crossbow and personally hit a dragon by himself?
Well, no, but the same could be said for Vigo.
Yeah, except Vigo has charisma. He has presence. Vigo has plans.
Okay.
Johan is literally... I got a contract, I'm gonna fulfill it. And I look like a madman.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for me, Johan seems to just have ambition. I think he wanted the King of Dragons simply as a collector's item.
Fallen Kingdom.
Oh my god.
But yes, a collector's item.
Vigo had ambition. He wanted the King of Dragons just simply for his
Vigo
collection.
wanted the King of Dragons?
What?
The Vigo wanted the King of Dragons.
No, he didn't. I think he was a businessman, and this is all coming from YouTuber Hello Future Me, and which I mentioned a couple times in this past season. His theory is that for Last Auction Heroes, is that his whole reason for doing this auction was so that he could get in good hands with Vigo's armada, because Vigo is first and foremost a businessman.
Well, yeah.
So he didn't want the King of Dragons. He wanted to do business with Drago.
Yes, but the point I'm making is the fact that Johann doesn't have much of a presence.
I
have to agree.
I will kind of agree with that.
Literally, he has practically what I call Stan Lee cameos. He appears and he goes like a fart in the wind.
But isn't that
you never see it coming?
But isn't that kind of what makes like the last episode when he's actually physically fighting Hiccup, like punching him and grabbing him by the neck? Isn't that kind of what makes up a little bit, like, there is kind of more to this man?
And that's the problem. There's more to this man that we never know. We get to see Vigo going through an arc of a lot of sorts. He killed his brother. He led his freaking hunters was maybe not an iron fist, but he led it smartly. He did a lot of questionable things, but he is complex. Vigo is a person.
Rest in peace, Vigo.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, rest in peace, by God, Season 6 was the best way to send him off on.
I know.
I mean, okay.
Okay, I think we get it.
Oh crap, we're doing it wrong. Quick, someone put on the tune for Stoic's funeral.
Oh. And that's, I mean, oh man.
And that's also why I kind of thought this is kind of also what leads Hiccup down to make that decision in movie 2, is to think that he can try to change Drago. The difference is that Drago was too deep into his madness, whereas Vigo was not. Vigo wasn't. He wasn't a madman. He was an amoral person.
Yes, and that's why I feel he's a much more compelling character to fight against, which is why I think Season 2 and 4 are probably the top tier seasons out of all of Race to the Edge. Season 6 had the scope, but it didn't have a memorable villain.
I have to agree.
Okay.
But I will say, Season 6 had the best moments.
True. Well, and I think maybe the reason why Vigo was the best villain was because, again, there was originally supposed to be 4 seasons, but then the release date for the 3rd movie got pushed back. It was actually supposed to. It was originally supposed to be in 2016. Then it got pushed to 2017, then 2018, until now, 2019. And so they needed. So this series was kind of a way to kind of like just bridge the gap. The last season would either be on the year before or the year of the 3rd movie release date. But then after all the pushbacks, then there was the 2 additional seasons, which this is how I categorize them. Season 1 was kind of more like the world building season. Season 2 is the enemy reveals it. Third season is the continuing battle. 4th season, the final season. 5th season, the patch job. Then the 6th season is
aptly put.
The 6th season is no, really, this is the final season.
I mean, it can't be like Friday the 13th, the final Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But Ian, what's your thoughts on the roster of villains here, comparing like Vigo, Riker, Johann?
Don't forget Krogan.
And Krogan.
Krogan is something.
Yeah. He's there.
For me, I have to say Vigo is at the top. Then it would have to be Riker. Riker would be just below him because when we first saw him in season 2, he was menacing.
Oh, yeah.
He knew.
Oh, yeah.
He knew what he was doing. He figured out the plan as it was happening and managed to circumvent it to his own gain.
Not to mention, he planned to tell everyone in detail what they were going to do to their dragons. Talk
Oh
about
my gosh.
present.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to make leather boots out of your dragon.
We're gonna fatten him up and skin him. We're gonna mine your natter for quills.
Ugh.
We're going to use your Gronkle as a factory.
Yeah.
I mean, those first, I think that was episode 2 and 3 of season 2, were, geez.
It was.
I mean, this season 2, episode 2 and 3 were, at the time, the most shocking and gritty episodes we have ever seen. I mean, you have this new character who's something of a badass, and he's also an ass. And he goes through, shows the writers what he's going to do to their dragons, and then he proceeds to manipulate them. He knows what they're doing, and when the writers finally get away, as I believe, John, you said this when you two talked about this, it's just a minor setback to him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yes, he cares, but he doesn't. He's not like, you meddling kids. He's just like, all right, back to work.
because Riker is kind of more of the muscle, and even though he has a lot of experience, he has a lot of experience hunting dragons. There's also ultimately Vigo's master plan, and so Vigo may have already had scenarios where there were minor setbacks.
Not to mention, he had the most memorable death.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sinking in a boat to the bottom of the ocean
while being sucked in by a submariner.
Yeah, not the most pleasant way to go.
No.
Okay, so and then after Riker, ooh, part of me wants to say Dagger. Although, what would we classify him as?
Dagger,
I mean, he's clearly an ally now, but
actually, I think I think going off of, when I was in college, I finally learned about this narrative called the hero's journey, which has just been is just like covered. It's just been this all-encompassing story arc that's been a part of every culture from the beginning of time to even our movies. And I think Dagger, he started out in terms of in terms of story archetypes. He started out as like the Shadow, the main villain, but then over time he kind of became the shapeshifter, kind of like Han Solo. You don't know where his allegiance aligns with until eventually, he is an ally. I guess you would put him down as the trickster, someone who's just meant to lighten up the mood, kind of like what the twins are. Oddly enough, they are tricksters.
yeah, and the religion of Loki.
Mm-hmm. Which I kind of liked is how Tyler made a joke about Tom Hiddleston when we brought it up, and then when you and Rebecca were doing your videos, you also decided to make a Marvel joke as well, Ian.
Yep.
Hard not to.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you know, he can get a couple of shots at Thor and his brothers and his daddy.
Mm-hmm.
But as for the bottom two villains, I don't know. I mean, yes, Johan has been there from episode 9 of season 1.
And that's what drives me nuts. Yeah, there was potential on that one.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that potential went to waste when they decided to focus on him on being like, do this, do that. Bring him alive, do that. And he became like a basic villain. We never get to know beyond the motives of rather than just him being ambitious. So
True, he was kind of a basic villain, but honestly for me, I'm kind of glad, because then it kind of actually makes it easier to rank these villains, because Vigo is still at the top. I mean, hands down.
it doesn't
Most definitely.
help that what pisses me off is Johan calling him a 2-bit criminal. I'm like, excuse me?
But then there's Krogan.
Krogan is just there.
A bunch of disappointment.
He's there.
Yeah, I mean, when we first saw him in Last Auction Heroes, he had so much potential.
Like I said, he was the Boba Fett of the Dragon series.
Once he's
I mean,
that went down.
we have a hooded figure. He stays to the shadows. We don't know much about him, and that's it. And then we find out that he made. And the next time we see him, when Hiccup's hot potatoed being kidnapped for a bounty,
Yeah.
We think he may be like an anti-hero when he just lets Hiccup go with the rest of his group and Toothless, and there was just a lot of lacking potential here with Krogan.
Yeah. And like I said, Vigo is overconfident and he's sure of his plans, but that's because we've been introduced to his genius. He was built up throughout the second season, and when we're finally revealed to him, we're now given a clear indication of his mindset. Whereas Krogan, yeah, he's overconfident, but we're not given a reason to see why he's confident.
He just is.
I think he's not so much confident as cocky.
Which is why Tyler and I we really liked the banter between Vigo and Krogan. I still laugh at Krogan's remark is, you can throw your little game pieces at them.
That was funny.
That was great.
Mm-hmm. And
But
the other thing that I like about Krogan is or not what I like, what I wanted to see more from Krogan is I wanted to see what sets him off. And,
yeah, I mean,
and we briefly get that in Triple Cross, whereas he does not like to be reminded of his failures, at least when you bring up his employment to Drago. He's very proud that he's the best.
It's kind of ironic if you want to look at it a particular way, because notice how he has no qualms killing his mooks, the red shirts, but considering how he met his end.
Yeah.
It's like
and he's wearing a red shirt.
So I guess what they say about karma is true.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. So we got some of the villains. How about some of the newer characters?
Mala.
Mala was actually pretty decent.
Mala was.
Yes, her introduction
awesome.
was kind of annoying. Her introduction, at least in the part 1 cliffhanger, which again, why would you do that?
Bullshit.
Was kind of annoying,
But it actually is a brilliant marketing ploy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But still, the aggravation.
Oh yeah.
But
However, I have to say, I did enjoy Mala's growth as a character.
Oh yeah.
it was pretty good.
I mean, were any of us expecting her to fall in love with Dagger?
No.
I was not expecting that either.
Though I cannot complain.
Neither can I. They're actually very cute.
Okay, it may be cute, but I'll just nitpick just slightly just to how they got to that point. I support it, but it just went from 0 to 60 in 2 episodes.
Yeah, I read your comment.
Ooh.
Oh, you want me to bring it up?
Oh yeah.
Or do you want to read it yourself?
About my reaction about what one of the commenters asking for my opinion on episode 6.
Yeah, Miyamori Wing, which I think when I woke up this morning, I realized, oh, Miyamori Wing, Armor Wing. Now I get it.
You just got that?
Yes.
Wow.
John, you're...
Hey, there was too much lovey-dovey in this episode. It was distracting.
Alright.
Not to mention Astrid's semi-sexual flirtatious nature towards Hiccup in that episode.
Okay. Let me just read you what I wrote down in response to that YouTuber's question about my thoughts on that episode. My words, and I quote, "The most interesting episode to say the least. An episode which has many ships coming together in blessed harmony. Ships such as Dagger and Hiccup, Hiccup and Astrid, Hickstrid, Dagger and Mala, Mulger, and lastly, the attempted resurrection of Aslout, Astrid and Snout, which was shot down with a rain of fire in a moment's notice. To be honest though, I'm kind of sort of mixed about the episode, though I ultimately did come to like it. However, for a while it was a touch and go. It was a walking a fine line and became one of those I could care less episode. And for a lot of reasons. Cringe. So much cringe. And despite how cringy it was seeing Dagger and Mala being lovey-dovey, despite how cringy it was that... Oh! How convenient! The Armor Wing has a dragon eye to its back. And what's this? Why, Hiccup! It seems little Krogan here is glued to your scents! But seriously though, is he like Officer Jenny? Because he's freaking everywhere when the plot demands it. Does he have 99 twin cousins? It was pretty good. And the reason why. It has the most memorable moments ever. From Dagger proposing to Hiccup to be his best man, like he's actually proposing him to be his wife. To Fish Legs and Hiccup noticing arrows sticking out of his well, never mind that. How about the planning for the wedding ceremony? This should be fun to see, and Mala just impaled the Dagger dummy.
Oh god.
And how about Mala making the twins saying, no, auntie.
I love that. She actually had a little more personality.
Oh yeah.
I wish we could see that more of her. That sort of fun-loving, tricky nature of Mala.
And for once, Krogan had an actual chilling line. You have friends, I have friends. The difference is I don't care if mine live or die.
And
wow.
I agree, yeah, that is a pretty good line for him.
Now, the second part is the heart. And here's the crux of the most of the gripes, is the cliche.
Yes.
The cliche of, well, Astrid being kind of jealous and wants Hiccup's attention. Because the problem problem is, in the traditional setting, what the girl tries to do is pretty trivial. Try on a new necklace, have a new pair of earrings, something that makes them look maybe prettier. But what she did actually turned that on its head and actually made it great, because it's not just some trivial thing, it's a betrothal gift. And if Hick didn't see that, there's something wrong. This is something his dad gave to his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, she had every right to be angry.
Yeah.
And another problem, though, was it would actually have been so much better. It could have been the Hickstrid episode if Krogan wasn't in it.
Yeah, it could have been.
In fact, it could have been the defining Hickstrid moment. The moment where they clear up self-doubts, any insecurities, work out how they operate as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I can kind of understand where you're coming from, and it kind of actually reminded me of I had this one comment from 2 months back as well, from Toothless Fan 2010, who writes, "Dear Omerkita Pictures, in Miyamori Wing, Hickstrid had a little fight, but some people say that the argument felt forced, and the writers thought it would be too intense for kids to handle how big an argument could be. What is your opinion of the fight itself and how it is executed? 1. It's all about the betrothal necklace Astrid wore and how she threw it back to Hiccup. 2. She did not want to wear her necklace in a mission that is important as the armor wing. 3. I wanted something that impacted Hickstrid as they worked together. Let me know what your thoughts are, and thanks for such a great ending. I really wanted that, and I understood that reference." I think what the reference he's pointing out is the Star Wars episode, The Empire Strikes Back reference, when Hiccup responds to "I know."
Oh yeah.
And I think for point 1 for Toothless Fan 2010 is Tyler, you pretty much hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
I mean,
is that that betrothal necklace is pretty important. I mean, it was a gift that his father gave to his mother, and I think you also mentioned that Hiccup pretty much asked for that very same gift to give to Astrid.
yeah. So it's not something just important to her, it's also important to him.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Hiccup, you dropped the ball in this court.
Yeah. But still for the execution, now even though I do agree with what you're saying, Tyler, I still kind of stand by most of what I said in my review of that episode is that this was the relationship that Hiccup and Astrid have always had. They do trust each other. Hiccup always looks to Astrid for reassurance or even a confidence boost, and Astrid looks to Hiccup for hope that whatever situation they're in, they'll get out of.
And that's where I see is the perfect part where this could have been brought to attention, because where's the fine line of love and friendship in that respect? Because you say it like that, it really sounds more like a friendship. Which Hiccup said in his wonderful introduction, like, yeah, we've been friends forever. Wow.
Friends forever means what, 3 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So, okay, Miyamori Wing is it's a romanticized episode. There's a lot of good ideas, and I still like it, but not quite the peak Hickstrid episode that Blindsided was. Even though we've already said our 2 cents about Blindsided.
Though, what is the Hickstrid episode to each of you?
I don't know. Buffalo Soldier's pretty good,
That is a very good one.
but there's not too many. There's Buffalo Soldier, Blindsided, Miyamori Wing, and
Sandbusted.
Yep, there's that one as well. Which basically, I like that one. I like the dragon because it was like a classic dragon hoarding treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I still stand by Buffalo Soldier because that had real weight.
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, not only you had Vigo being Vigo, and you had Astrid, who is supposed to be like the best warrior of their generation, pretty much dying, and Hiccup going literally to the ends of the earth to find a way to rescue her.
Could have summed it up better myself.
Mm-hmm.
No. Going back to the new characters, let's talk about Atali and the Wing Maiden.
I'm having PSD here.
Okay.
I'm having PSTD here.
Bad-
Shell shocked.
Bad introduction for that tribe. And apparently one fan even agrees with that. It was cringy. It was cringy
most
I feel,
definitely.
Kind of cringe. That made me want to gouge out my eyeballs.
Yes. This is what I thought when I first saw the episode, is that, oh my god, they turned the Snot Man into the Straw Man.
I mean, they had good ideas.
Yes.
I mean, a new tribe of women who take care of razor whips that could, with some tweaking, could write itself.
Yeah. The fact is that there was hack writing. They just did not communicate. Which, if you want to make change in this world, you need strong communication.
Yeah.
Not to mention what was the theme? What was the point?
I have no... Oh, apparently the theme was you taught us a valuable lesson about tolerance and acceptance. I didn't get that.
I know you guys can't see me right now, but I'm facepalming.
I'm also facepalming.
I feel it. I can feel it across the states.
That's how big that facepalm is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, and pretty heavy-handed too.
Oh my god. Oh my god, it was heavy-handed. So yeah, it is the worst episode of the series.
Yes, bar none, it is the worst.
And like we said, Big Man on Burke is bad, but it's like The Room. It's spectacularly bad.
This one was just...
But
okay, it's so bad, everyone fears it. Everyone's dreading it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I rather enjoy it just because of how bad it is.
Okay,
If that makes sense.
So it's like your Big Man on Burke.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, but
I mean, I put Big Man on Burke below it because it didn't have a lot of ideas. Snotlout's Angels had good ideas.
Yes, it did.
It just carried them out. It carried it out like a bucket of trash.
Yes. However, I thought in season 6, episode 3, Chain of Command was actually very good enough to actually make up for it, because it, of course, yeah, there are moments where Snotlout is being himself, but then there was also growth. There was actual growth, and there was also a wing maiden that was pretty much like him.
Hashtag ship.
Yes.
Okay, now here's my biggest. Huh? So why did Snotlout fall for Roughnut?
I don't know.
Okay, better question is, why, Fish Legs, are you not going after Heather?
I know.
Oh, John and I talked about this. Oh boy, John.
Good
lord.
I did mention it briefly in the final review. I know that in the second movie, yes, it's canon that the Fish Legs is going after Roughnut, so is Snotlout. But after just seeing the chemistry, the arc that he had with Heather, and seeing the chemistry that they had together, it was, and just at the end of the final episode, it's just dropped everything, and I just was like, what the fuck? You're an asshole.
DreamWorks, honestly, and I mean this in the best way possible. Bring her back. Yeah, bring her back in the next movie, please.
Yeah.
And also, if you set up a blooming, wonderful relationship between two characters that we have come to love, and you just drop it? Oh my god. Don't do that.
I know, jeez.
I mean, I kind of find it funny. At first, we hated her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
And she, in her own way, she grew.
Mm-hmm.
Grew so much that she's freaking awesome.
I will have to say there were a few moments that did make me groan. Like, I think in season 3, she was going all like, "Oh, poor me, another drink."
But no, I will concede that at least DreamWorks had the foresight to think of the episode where, hey, Roughnut, Fish Legs, you're married. Which did set some, I'll say in air quote, some seeds. But it really wasn't enough because they needed to do more between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, DreamWorks, you set up a little chemistry start, but you need to continue it.
Or at least explain why it ended.
I mean, you can plant the seed and water it for a day, but if you leave it alone for a week, it's gonna die.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I would have liked it if, say, Heather had to put the duty to her tribe, since she's now, like, the co-chief with her brother. If she put that, like, very important. I mean, these are her people.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to take care of them. And I would have liked it if, say, she had to make a choice. Would she betray her people, or would she stay with Fishleg?
I thought that actually would be a good way to bring an end to that little plot thread right there, to kind of tie that one off. Yeah, I mean, just DreamWorks, you done goofed.
Oh no, that's not the biggest done goof they did, John.
Oh, now I'm curious. What is the biggest done goof?
The freaking Snap Trapper!
Oh no! 6 chances! Okay. They had 6 chances!
Are you two ready for a rant?
I have no rants. I have no rants in me. I assume you do, Ian.
Oh yes, I have a rant.
Okay.
Should we start taking notes?
If you want, you're not required to, but okay. So, we are first introduced to this dragon called the Snap Trapper. 4 heads, releases the smell of chocolate into the air to lure its prey, and it looks like a freaking Venus flytrap.
I do believe I've heard saying that in one of the episodes.
Yeah. So, we have this beautifully designed dragon, and we are first introduced to it in the Book of Dragons special that came out in winter of 2012, I think.
Probably, yeah.
With Gift of the Night Fury, which I have reviewed twice now.
Yeah.
So, we are introduced to this thing. It looks freaking badass, and we don't ever see it. I checked. Feel free to back me up on this, listeners. Go through the Book of Dragons. Check every dragon that had at least one episode in all of these seasons. From what I saw, we only had one that did not. The freaking Snap Trapper.
And the reason why we wanted to see the Snap Trapper, not only could we see it, fleshed out as much as the series could flesh it out, but because there was a special feature on, there was a special, the dragon tracker on the either Writers or Defenders of Book DVDs, where you can just get a little recap of all the dragons that they experienced. And when there's this one special icon that and you see when you hit it, you see a Snap Trapper fly, and you hear Hiccup saying, "Oh, that's actually a new dragon. We don't really know much about that yet." Yet, you say yet, which implies you're going to eventually come across it at some point. Never comes up.
Now, John and I were talking, and I pitched the idea to him that, say, the writers come across a group of people, say a tribe or a village, who have never seen dragons, and they're having an issue with a wild Snap Trapper that's eating their townspeople. That is a classic scenario involving a dragon. And DreamWorks could have done that. I think if it could have worked very well. I mean, you have a new dragon that camouflages in with the forest. And yes, we've seen camouflage dragons before in Change Wings, but this is different. This is 4 heads, and say they went to a slightly tropical sort of island with the tribe. That would have worked beautifully. Mm-hmm. I mean, it could have been like a rehash of like the Changelings, but different. I mean, you could have, say, Rough Nut and Tough Nut following the scent of chocolate, and then they come across the Snap Trapper. Because we know they're stupid, and they would follow the scent of chocolate.
And so it's not loud, I think.
Right. Isn't it mentioned that he always eats?
I don't know.
I think at some point taking like what's it called? Something away from not loud, like a ham or something.
Oh yeah, mutton.
Yeah, a leg of mutton, and then of course there's also the yak butter parfait.
And also that the tribe, it would actually be a good way to probably bring in like one of the tribes from the books, like there were the lava louts, or the ugly thugs, or heck, since most of the new tribes in this series have been led by women, how about the bog burglars? Because I know there's one fan. There was one fan who would love to see Kamikaze.
Not to mention her mother. Oh God.
Oh boy, they would not get away with that in that big boobied Bertha.
I wish we could have the luxury of living in a time frame, living in a
Yeah.
dimension where we can see that.
Yeah. You know, for kids.
And speaking of which, Darkest Night.
Oh yeah, Dark. Oh, that one.
I actually was kind of surprised that some of the parts of Darkest Night was actually close in correlation with the book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was just kind of more surprised that that they used actual footage from the first movie, because so far there has been a connection to the past to the past movie, but nothing very solid.
Oh yeah. But I have to say that the Darkest Night, you can classify as a filler, but I say it's a very memorable kind of filler.
Oh yeah, I mean. I agree with you. It's classified as a filler, but it doesn't feel like it.
And you can think of what would happen if this happened or that happened, and we get to see all the head films, which is freaking hilarious.
Decapitation.
And no matter what, the mindset is, even if Hiccup missed that, Toothless, he was still bonded with his dragon. Though, I do feel that some of that head movie was kind of rushed and how that worked.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
But what do you expect? But it was kind of joyful to see an old friend, Whispering Death, the arch nemesis of Toothless.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap.
It's like I said, it's just those little things, those little bits of care to the continuity that makes this whole franchise enjoyable.
It does.
Any franchise.
And I have to say Darkest Night is probably my favorite episode.
Of season 6?
Yes. Either that or Triple Cross.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Triple Cross.
For the main reason of Triple Cross being the fact that Vigo's words.
Mm-hmm.
Hiccup, you are many things. Ruthless, not that.
I know.
And damn it, he didn't hit down the head.
I know. And like I said, I feel like this was kind of just this was a good way to set up. It's a good way to set up Hiccup's essentially his depression, or at least that down the moment when he's down in movie 2, which is again why I thought that episode was really great, because it pretty much shaped Hiccup in two folds. One, his flaws, like his trustworthiness, and his need to get things done when it comes to dragons.
And I can agree.
But yeah, we've spent a lot of time on season 6. Ian, you had something else?
Yeah, could we take a trip back, all the way back to the year 2015, season 1 of Race to the Edge?
Uh-huh.
Because I mean, yeah, we get a lot of Jurassic Park references.
Yes.
Which is understandable because Jurassic World came out that same month.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just talk about it. Do you feel that not having a set out villain until the second season helped or hindered the show?
I actually thought it helped it out. I mean, given the whole journey is to pretty much establish a status quo, and that is And I feel like season 1, like as I said, that was the world building arc. I do feel like maybe there should have been more episodes about, look at the map, explore the island, see if there's dragon lenses so that you can find more of them. I feel like there was a little bit more, there should have been more of that, but season 1 was, pretty good. We were seeing the writers, adapt to new situations, kind of venture off on their own. It was a coming of age season for them.
Yeah, and I can agree, but however, I have a gripe with how they ended season 1. I did not like episode 13 of season 1.
Total nightmare?
Yes, I did not enjoy that.
To be honest, I don't really remember that episode too much because I fell asleep in it.
Well, that's part of why I don't like it. It's boring.
No. You don't understand. I fell asleep because I was too tired from work.
Oh.
I worked a night shift, so I had to try to keep awake in the day.
Oh my god, yeah, that's right.
John, you are a slave driver.
But John, I take it you were awake during that episode?
Yeah, I was.
So, honestly, in my personal opinion, I think that episode 12 and 13 should be flipped.
Like the one with the speed stinger should have been the last episode.
Yes, Speedy.
There's the problem. The biggest problem with season 1 and how to end it was, how do you end it? Because no matter what episode you're gonna put in, it feels incomplete until you actually have, an obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the problem with season 1. It was just world building and there was no obstacles. So there was really no way you could have left season 1 in a satisfactory note.
True.
Yeah.
Although they could have put the have Dragon World Travel at the end.
I mean, unless you introduced the Dragon Hunters from season 2 in that final episode, which in hindsight it was actually been a good move.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, there's really no other way they could have made it satisfactory. Unless it's something pretty rockin'.
Yeah, honestly, I actually would have to agree with you that having the two-parter be the end of the season probably would have ended the season on a satisfactory level. Because you have the revelation that Heather's returning. She has a personal vendetta against Dagger because he attacked her island. Her parents are dead, only to find out they're her adopted parents, and she's actually related to Dagger, like blood related. They're brother and sister. And then she has to go out, fly off into the world and do some soul searching. And then, we get that Hickstred moment. I actually would have to agree that would actually be the best placement for the season, the end of it.
Can we just talk about how they brought back Heather?
So, out of curiosity, when did Heather reappear in season 2?
Let's see. It was episode 10 and 11.
Was it 10 and 11?
Yep.
Let's see.
Yes, 10 and 11. Season 1, episode 10 and 11. Have Dragon Will Travel.
Huh. I was worried that if they would have put that at the end, well, when she reintroduced, it would have been like, what the hell? You turned evil! Well, obviously.
That one. That would be episode 2 and 3 of season 2.
Oh,
So-
yeah, that's right.
So having ending season 1 with Heather finding out her relations to Dagger, and then going into season 2 like, I'm evil. That would have been jarring.
Yeah.
So I'm very content with where Heather's discovery of her relations is.
Okay.
Can we just talk about the bait and switch, how they teased that Heather might be Hiccup's sister?
That was an interesting bait and
Yeah,
switch,
it was.
though the biggest reason why there's kind of a few things why I didn't really fall for it. Second thing was, at the time, did we even have confirmation it was going to be canon? That the show was going to be canon in the movies?
Well, according to IMDb, is that Heather is an original character. So is just an original character, so might have no connection to the movies. But I think IMDb is kind of a little bit like Wikipedia. You can like put any kind of information that you want, and it might have to be updated.
So at the time, we really had no way to know that. Okay, is it actually technically in line with the movies? If so, movie 2 made no mention of a sister.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
there's that part.
Uh-huh.
The other part was, well, her wonderful green eyes.
Yes.
And if you genetics, wow, Stoic, Hiccup, no green eyes.
Mm-hmm.
The only is we would need to know what the mom looks like, and we saw movie 2 and what mom's eyes looked like.
Yeah, and as well as her facial structure.
So there was no way that was gonna fly.
Yes, it would have to be another woman.
Mm-hmm.
An
And I don't
illegitimate
think...
child.
I think Stoic has too much honor for that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I was kind of like deduction. It was in deduction mode for me on that one. I love mystery. Though, I had to wonder. I want your guys' opinion. What is the one moment that you kind of like, oh God, it kind of like made you want to shit your pants kind of deal?
Like, the oh my god moment?
The moment that made you like terrified, gave you some sort of like anxiety, gave you like tension, or whoa.
Oh.
I can tell you the one thing that gave me the heebie-jeebies was the one with the Cujo dragons.
Oh, that's right, yes!
Oh my
a Grim
gosh.
Retreat. Yeah, that was a good one. I actually thought of that earlier. I forgot it almost immediately.
Oh, the dragons.
Yes. Oh my god, that was awesome.
The stuff of nightmares.
Yeah.
The videos on that were amazing.
Oh yeah,
So-
that was very well done.
Oh, definitely. Though, I gotta make an observation, and I'm sorry, ADHD here, so bouncing back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you one thing I did like about season 6. The cinematography shot up
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. Yes, it did.
greatly. I'm talking about, if you were to go from season 1 to season 5, when there's battles, it felt like they're doing their Sailor Moon thing.
Mhm.
Hey, dragonflies, fire a fireball. Dragonflies, shoot this. Season 6, it was doing a dolly following the dragon as it fires. It was doing a lot of water, camera low to the water as the fireballs hit near the camera, almost at the camera.
Yeah.
And the action was so much more punch. It was so much more oomph. that
movie level quality.
Oh yeah, even in the last couple of episodes, the cinematography was also, they upped the ante on that. Like especially they decided to have, when they followed the giant spear that hit the Titan Wing Dramillion, which again, for a kids show, we don't really see that. We don't see it that often. Especially in movie 2, when it immediately cuts away from the evil Bewilderbeast impaling the good Bewilderbeast. It cuts away from that, but we didn't cut away from when that spear actually hit that drag. When the spear hit that Dramillion dragon, we see it hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we see it fall.
Is that foreboding for movie 3?
Ooh.
Don't know.
I don't know. But you know what? Speaking of movie 3, I did get a comment. I did get a comment about what is up with that glyph from the end of season 2, which
oh yeah, you and I talked about this.
Oh yeah. Now, okay. Race to the Edge was not.
I'm not. No, I don't know about this talk.
Okay. Well, Race to the Edge was not only meant to bridge movie 1 to movie 2, but I think in some ways it might have tried to set up at least what to expect from movie 3. So what we know from the third movie trailer is that there is a hidden world that's filled with dragons. It's implied that the dragons, as well as maybe the Vikings of Berk, will have to disappear in order to protect the dragons, because Grimmel is hunting them down. And he's especially fond of Night Furies. So, and I think what we know about Toothless, or at least a Night Fury in general, is that they actually have potential to be alphas. So maybe in a way, Night Furies are like the alpha of this special world where they take care of dragons. So maybe that's what that glyph means, is that Night Furies are alphas, and that was supposed to be the beginnings of a map to find it.
Interesting.
Indeed.
Oh, John?
Yes?
One thing, you mentioned that slow motion, spear hitting the Draconian?
Yes. Dramillion.
I want to say Dramillion, sorry.
Like Dragon Chameleon.
Dramillion. I'm gonna say, to me, the best one had to be Heather leaping off her dragon, kicking the rider off his dragon, and leaping back onto hers.
Yes, the trailer
shot. That was badass.
Yeah, the trailer shot. That's the money shot right there.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, there were a lot of good shots. Especially, they decided to give the boulder a POV shot in the final episode. Show the berserker loading on the catapult, set it on fire, fling, going towards the ship.
And in fact, we even got one of the boulders on fire coming at the camera.
The final episode, the series finale, was memorable not just for it finally tied up most of the loose ends. It had great cinematography, but it just cuts right to the action. We don't get the intro.
Oh yeah.
Though, I mean, I love how grand in scale it was. And I would... No, I'm not going to harp on the subject of Johan, because we already did that. The only thing I think that is preventing it from becoming the greatest finale is, well, Johan. It needed a villain to accompany that kind of sense of grandeur.
Okay. Actually, you know what? Coming back to Johan, I actually did. I know we had our gripe at the end of season 5, like the reveal just feels a little forced. But with the season opener of season 6, I kind of thought that kind of makes up for it because, in a way, it kind of makes sense. Johann was kind of the reason for the whole thing. I mean, they found him. He's the one that pretty much directed them towards the Dragon Eye that started this whole thing. So so these 2 seasons were kind of a blessing in disguise. Because if we didn't have them, then that little doohickey on Heather's belt would have just been decoration, and even all the way back in season 1 on the wiki, on the Dragons wiki, someone put down how it looks like a Dragon Eye lens.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to have to contest a bit with that. Yes, I did like how it does shed some light, but I really hated how the fact that it also made it very obvious. Like, no, it's doing a flashback while going through all his events. He had that, like, evil smile. Like, I'm like, really?
It's I know, it's funny, but, it might just... But, it might be another head movie from Hiccup.
It could be, but if that's actually what actually transpired, it kind of, respect lost.
Mm-hmm.
Because a great villain does not make himself known.
Yeah. Well, wait, then what does that make Vigo?
I don't know, because
Vigo is exempt from the rules.
First of all,
Okay, so
Vigo's
he's the
never
exception.
attempted to hide himself from being a good guy.
He didn't hide himself from being a good guy?
No, I'm talking about, like, he was not pretending to be a good guy.
Okay.
At all.
Oh, okay. So it's more. So you think a great villain is someone who kind of knows they're a villain, who doesn't try to pretend, is just straight up honest.
No, what I'm saying is, if you're gonna be an actor, act. You don't drop your mask or say, what's the term in acting when you dumb goof, you chuckle at a line when you're not supposed to chuckle? Yeah, you don't corpse. If you're gonna be evil but pretend to be good, keep your role. You can be evil in private, but when around people, it's kind of, childish.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not looking my way. Evil smile, evil smile. Oh, okay. I'm good. I'm good.
Jekyll and Hyde moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel like, dude. No. But now with season 6, I have to say the episode finale caught me off guard with one thing, and it's the epilogue.
Yes. Oh god, there were some surprises in there.
Yes, and I was tearing up when I found out that egg is, my god.
Actually, you think it's actually the Bewilderbeast in the first movie, in the second movie?
Is it?
There's actually a theory, again, going to Hello Future Me. By the way, some of this I actually did mention in the final video. Is that the theory is that the Bewilderbeast below Berserker Island and the Bewilderbeast in Valka Sanctuary are actually the same. It just migrated to a place where it could safely lay its egg.
All right, so that's the theory.
That's a theory, and I kind of support it because what I said in the last video is that the Bewilderbeast essentially saved Hiccup from being killed by Johann because I think it essentially heard Hiccup tell Toothless to protect the egg, so it knew who's friend and who's foe, and in movie 2, when Hiccup meets this bewilderbeast, it shows its sign of affection or respect by blowing ice mist towards it. And so you can interpret this several ways. Like the Alpha could sense Hiccup's spirit that he was a friend of Dragons, or could sense the connection between Hiccup and Volca since they are blood related, or if it's the same bewilderbeast, it remembered him. It remembered him as trying to protect its young.
Out of curiosity, Volca found the egg, correct?
Yes.
Did she just simply relocated it?
It could probably still be hidden in the sanctuary.
Yeah, we don't. It's been what, 4 years now since we've seen the sanctuary.
In this timeline, 1 year has passed since the events at Berserker Island.
Yes, but I mean since movie 2.
Since movie 2, let's see, it's 2018. Movie came out. 4 years. Movie came out in 2014.
So we don't know what the sanctuary looks like. So it could be there, but we currently have no information, so we can't really say.
Right. I mean, I still like the idea that it is the same bewilderbeast, and it actually remembered Hiccup from last year as trying to protect the egg.
Okay, credit where credit's due. That is just awesome.
Yeah.
Although, can we just talk about how great it was to see a bewilderbeast again?
I know.
Yes. Though I love the Jaws reference.
We're gonna need a bigger cage.
We're gonna need a bigger cage.
We get it, Spielberg.
Yes, Spielberg, we get it. Movies. You did a lot of good movies.
You did a lot of good movies. You helped find DreamWorks that ended up creating this. Although, you know, it was. Although I have to be honest, since the past couple of seasons, we haven't made a lot of movie references.
No, we haven't. I remember in season 1 and 2, you guys were making them left and right.
Because they were everywhere.
I think maybe.
Let's see, we got Jaws, Star Wars, Tremors.
I mean, okay, let's try this. Hey, Darkest Night. Hey, Green Lantern.
Well, let's see. Okay, well, we did. Well, let's see. Darkest Night. Yeah, I referenced that. Has nothing to do with Batman.
Has nothing to do with Batman. Has nothing to do with the infamous. No, not infamous. The famous comic for Green Lantern.
Oh, Blackest Night.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, and in episode 9 of this season, Family Matters, I mentioned how Snotloud, when he puts on 2 monocles, that he looks like Jack Black from either Goosebumps or Jumanji.
Or he could be, well, hey, Urkel.
No. No. Not
No. Family Matters. Get it?
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
And I have to say, I liked the gag at first, and then it got old, and then it went back around to being funny.
Yeah, with the noodle incident.
Yes.
However, I feel we've been missing one character to talk about her arc.
Which one?
Rough Nut?
Chicken.
Oh, Chicken. She was mostly absent in this season.
Oh, no, she had one important role. You want to know what? Telling us which season it is by the opening trailer. Or opening credit. Otherwise, you wouldn't know which season of Racing Edge you were watching.
Care to elaborate?
Remember when it shows a montage of all the dragons, and then it shows Chicken with the gold chain?
Yes.
That's only in this season.
Yeah. And I remembered writing that down. Wait, why is Chicken in the opening? Is she really a dragon?
Well, technically she is a dinosaur.
Oh,
Okay.
lovely.
Fair,
But-
fair enough.
But here's the biggest thing. I need to remember how John, how you and I would have these cold openings that would come back around years later. It'd be like they kicking us in the butt like prophecies.
Yeah.
Remember my biggest gripe was season 2 and 3? And 4?
Was it? No, I can't remember. What was it?
What? Why do we have the MacGuffin?
Oh, yeah.
Like, they had a MacGuffin, and then they kind of stopped caring about it.
That's kind of what a MacGuffin is. It's just meant to propel the plot forward.
I know, but look what season 6 did.
I guess, yeah. Yep.
It became relevant.
Yes, it did. Which is why I still feel like these 2 additional seasons, yes, season 5 included, were a blessing in disguise, because then we would have these threads that aren't going anywhere. I mean, the only thread left is the final frame from the end of season 2 with that Night Fury.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we have Heather's lenses. We've got Johan's plot thread is finally going. The Wildebeest, Berserker Islands, everything. Astrid and Hiccup's relationship. Snotlout and Fish Lakes pursuing Ruff, despite how jarring that is.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I have a theory.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember what color that Night Fury image was in all the lenses? What color was it? I forget.
I think it was like a light green. Hold on, let's.
If it is a light color, I know a certain female that could tie into it.
Oh. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, I brought it up. I was like, holy shit, it's a light green!
Dawn! I knew it.
Ian, I think you just hit upon something.
Because we don't know much about this female Night Fury. Let's talk about this.
This light
Because
fury.
this could have been what they were hinting at way back in season 2.
I mean, in season 5, there's not even a burial grounds for Night Fury, so it's a complete mystery at this point.
Which again, I think supports the theory that maybe Night Furies really are alphas, just not in this world.
Yeah.
Maybe they're caretakers.
DreamWorks, I am on to you.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so. I mean, I'm not shocked that they might have had that plan since back when, because Dean DeBlois, or however you pronounce his last name, said that he would come back to do more How to Train Your Dragons, provided that that he makes it a trilogy. So maybe during all the story meetings, the brainstorming ideas, he might have wrote down all possible concepts, including this one, and this is something to just try to set up movie 3.
Quick, everyone, tweet this video at him. I want confirmation.
Unfortunately, I don't have a Twitter.
I do have a Twitter. Actually, I think I can tweet it directly to him. I mean, I could just go onto Twitter and go, "Hey, at Dean DeBlois or DeBlois."
Wow, you just sound like you just spat out some gibberish.
Yeah. Hey, at Dean DeBlois. We remember this frame from Race to the Edge. Does it have any connection to movie 3? And I'll see if he gets back to me. I mean, I could do that. Who wants me to do that?
Me.
Do it.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it at the end of this video.
Excellent.
Alright, so, okay, how about overall Race to the Edge as a whole? I mean, we're kind of coming and going between different seasons, but as a whole, do you think it was it necessary?
Yes.
I feel that way too.
It's complicated how to put it into words, but yes, but it could be done better. I mean,
Well, everything can be done
Yeah.
better.
that's what I was going to make. Everything could be done better, but of course, what I'm talking about is, imagine this actually being planned down to like the T of how everything was going to tie in, rather than being a haste job.
Mm-hmm.
Where the last two seasons, though it was admirable how well put the last one was,
Yeah.
and we all saw the patchwork of season 5.
Yes. I mean, oh my god, it was such a rush job. Even the twins weren't funny.
Yeah,
Which
That's-
is a really
that's a crime.
yes,
that is a
crime.
fucking
That is a crime against humanity when dragons is involved, and dragon kind.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a crime against humanity and dragon kind when the twins aren't funny.
So, yes, it is necessary. Is it perfect? No, nothing's perfect. But should it have been better? Yes. Threads should have been resolved better.
I don't think. Well, yeah, I think. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was very necessary. It was very well done. It actually kept to the hero's journey narrative that's pretty much permeates our entire art world, our entire culture, our entire species as a whole. Just that as how we tell stories. And yeah, some of the dragon designs I would like to see. Some of the new dragons I would like to see in the third movie, just to see movie quality.
Oh, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I want to see the Razor Whip in movie 3.
Oh yeah, me too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I want to see speed stingers,
Speed Stingers.
and razor whips, and a Dramillion.
Yes. That said, though, I want to ask this bigger question. How do you feel about not just Race to the Edge, but the series as a whole?
You know, I think series as a whole. I guess there was. I feel like there was actually a lot of care put into it. I mean, it's a lot different. It's a lot different from the Penguins of Madagascar and Kung Fu Panda: Legends of Awesomeness and Monsters vs. Alien, because that just feels like, it kind of feels like Power Rangers, either Lesson or Monster of the Week. But with
Well, to be fair, it kind of just started off that way.
yeah.
I think those series were more like cash grabs.
Those were-
honestly.
Yeah, they could easily appeal to children. Dragons because I feel like there's actually a lot of heart just from the first movie alone, that it can appeal to both children and adults. And the series, while starting off as mostly for kids, it kind of gradually worked its up to not only just be for kids, but just to be a very fun adventure series.
Oh yes, I mean, look at us. We're 3 grown men.
Yeah,
And we're geeking out about it.
I know. And what Dean and Chris, essentially what they're looking at in the How to Train Your Dragon series is Hiccup's coming of age story. it's him coming into his own, you know, growing from a young boy to an adult, and this series and the movies are doing just that.
Oh yeah.
Whereas the little bit I've seen of Kung Fu Panda: Legends of Awesomeness is just, you know, just to see Po being Po.
Now, out of curiosity, when movie 3 comes out, is there gonna be a time skip?
From what I've seen on the trailer, there's going to be like a little bit of a time. There's a little bit of a time skip, but that little shot of seeing a full bearded Hiccup kind of makes me think there might be more time skips in there. From what I've heard, they are going to be playing with the timeline a bit.
Because I was wondering, when movie 3 comes out, is there a possibility it might continue with more?
Definitely not.
No.
Not more movies.
No. I'm not talking about movies. Dragon series.
I hope so. I actually would
like a little bit between movie 2 and 3.
Yes.
I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
The transition of Hiccup going from where he is in movie 2 to, well, how he got the beard in the first place.
Well, I feel like he might have gotten the beard, you know, after just the events that happened in movie 3, like after the dragons disappear. So I don't know. I don't think that would kind of work. However, we not only could have a series, but we also do have the comic books.
That's true.
Oh yeah. Although something they have to put in this third movie.
We get a Snap Trapper.
Baby Night Furies.
Baby Night Furies!
Bring them to us, please.
Oh, yeah. Jeez. Yes. Show the Night Fury babies.
Show the babies. Show the babies.
Show the babies!
Babies are my good.
Well, babies. The bane of cuteness.
Mm-hmm. Good God. Just think of it, you know, if Toothless can have cute expressions in the first movie, just think of what Baby Night Furies will do. They'll put him to shame.
Don't make me melt, man. Please.
Don't make you melt?
Yes, don't make me melt. I want to remain solid.
DreamWorks, make him melt.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, going back to the series, the reason why I liked the series finale so much was because it's essentially what I had in my mind for the ending of movie 3. All the characters came back. We got to see all the dragons that they encountered, like sea shockers, Scaldrons, screaming deaths, the death songs. There's even a shot where you see a thunder drum and 3 juveniles. And I'm just gonna, and till the day I die, I'm gonna say that's Bing Bang and Boom and Thornado. Mm-hmm. And if anyone actually disproves that, I'll just deny it. My headcanon is that strong.
Even a Skrill?
Even the Skrill, yes, we got a Skrill. It might be Vigo's Skrill, or it might be the other Skrill that went. Oh, I don't know. So far, we've only seen one Skrill. Who knows? Maybe the Skrill that Vigo befriended was the same one that Hiccup let go.
Yeah.
Although I have a question.
Yes?
What happened to Shattermaster?
Yes! That was the
Yeah.
other thing. What happened? Just disappeared right at the end of season 4.
Who knows?
My personal headcanon is he died.
From what? A busted leg?
He ate too much.
Oh,
Well-
indigestion.
Yeah, indigestion.
Ugh.
Well, honestly, why else would he just disappear?
I know.
I mean, Dagger. Based on the bond we've seen between Shadow Master and Dagger, I don't think Dagger would just let him go without a good reason.
Yeah.
You underestimate the power of a Pokemon.
I don't follow Pokemon.
No, it's Sluther.
Sluther. Right.
The Pokemon.
The Pokemon Dragon.
Oh, yeah. But,
So,
I mean, I prefer Sluther to be with Dagger, but without a good reason for Shadow Master's disappearance?
mm-hmm.
If I had to be honest, it might as well. Dagger probably tried started his own kind of the A-team version of Berserker Island. Probably need to start up a Dragon Rider program.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta have something to give riders experience.
So, someone was
Oh.
oh my god, that's sad.
What, to have Shadow Master help train new pilots?
Oh wait, I'm still going under the headcanon that he's died.
Oh, no.
I see.
I'm talking about like having Shadow Master essentially be the test jet.
Oh, I see. So,
pilot.
the training dragon.
Yes.
That would work.
Okay. Why didn't they show that then?
Not enough time.
Not. Oh, you mean like there was not enough time? There was not enough time to just, to kind of to brush aside. Remember in season 5, with the Gustav episode. When
Yeah.
when the dragons kind of act funny when flying over the island, and
Speaking of which, that's never resolved.
Actually, it is resolved. It wasn't Dragon Root. It was the Bewilderbeast that was underneath the island.
That's right.
Wait, wasn't that supposed to be in the center? Were they even near the center?
Yeah, they were. I think they were near the center. So yeah, even though we kind of had a gripe with that, because I'm kind of glad that it's a plot thread that finally is getting resolved. But my problem is that it wasn't subtle. I mean, they didn't do very well to try to kind of ease our minds. They just simply went, there might be Dragon Root. There might be Dragon Root around the island. We don't have time for that. Why didn't you just say why? That could have easily have been fixed by having either Dagger or Heather or one of the Berserkers just saying, "Yeah, we have been finding random dragon roots around the island," and that would have been enough. That would have been enough for me to just go, "Oh, all right."
But
there's a problem, and you're working on it.
yeah. But getting back on point though, where would you put a training montage of Shadow Master that would not feel out of place?
I don't know. Probably get rid of the whole Gustav arc.
Yes.
Hell,
I hate that kid.
Hell, okay, let's do this. Rework that episode. Have Dagger going to Hiccup pleading like, I need a training program. Can you help me come up with a training program for my island?
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine the fun in that.
Yes.
That would be a great filler episode.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we could, and to even to introduce a little bit, have a little bit of foreshadowing or a call forward of what's gonna happen in a future season, only to just cleverly subvert it to make, so that when it actually comes back, we're like, oh, that's why.
Yeah. Hell, do we call it the Heather team?
The H team.
The H team.
The Berserker.
The B team.
No, the Berserker team.
Oh. But yeah, just imagine the hilarity of Dagger trying to start up a flying program.
If anyone's in fanfiction, please write this.
I know.
No, just imagine, brother, I need your help. What is Dagger? What is it? I need a team of riders.
Okay.
I mean, I thought that since you have your own team of writers, I should probably have my own. I mean, brilliant, right?
Of course, they probably wouldn't. Of course, they probably wouldn't be as great as you. I mean, after all, you are the dragon expert. You know, you got the Night Fury, you got the brains, and you got the peg leg again with the leg.
Yes, DreamWorks. Why?
Okay, now speaking of that leg, the one thing that did impress me the most in that final episode is Hiccup's resolve.
Yes.
Good God.
Mm-hmm.
That leg saved his life.
Yes,
Wow.
And again, tying it into movie 2 on the special features of the Blu-ray, Hiccup his prosthetic leg actually has 3 settings. One, a regular walking leg, a leg to use for flying, and an ice pick leg for when he's going on ice. So I think it's this experience, you know, trying to protect the alpha, is kind of what made him go, huh, I should get a more versatile peg leg.
Yeah.
So again, and I mentioned this in that last video. It's just those little moments of continuity, those little surprises that just makes everything just worth it. That just makes everything enjoyable.
It does.
And I'm kind of glad that I decided to review this series and also bring you along, Tyler, because I think my experience, as well as just reading the comments from fans, has made me try to, you know, think more third dimensionally about all the decisions and experiences, or at least of the decisions that these characters come up with.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So to Ian, and on behalf of all the fans of my channel, thank you very much.
And you're very welcome. And I'd like to thank both of you for starting me off on my own journey with this.
We're very honored.
Yeah.
Alright, so what more is there to talk about?
Huh. Actually, I got one.
Yes?
What's your guys' favorite dragon?
Oh yeah, let's just get to the fun part. Our favorite moments, least favorite moments, favorite episodes, least favorite episode.
Yeah,
okay.
enough with this analyzation.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Favorite dragon. I like Dramillion, Speed Stinger, Razor Whip.
Let's see. Razor Whip is always first and foremost.
Yes.
The Summer Ripper.
Oh yeah. The little frog, the frog-legged looking dragon.
Yes. And okay, hold on. I gotta pick which one. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Speed Stinger.
Ian,
And
Ian, I can probably guess what your favorite dragon is, but what is it?
Honestly, for me, the Triple Strike.
Oh wow, I did not.
Really?
That's actually surprising. I thought you would have picked this. You would have picked the Speed Stinger.
No, that's second on the list.
Okay. So,
but for me, I felt that the introduction of the Triple Strike was very good. I mean, even today, in our day and age, we have an issue with, like, dog fighting, cockfighting, and just, for some reason, having animals fight other animals. And I felt that, what was that episode?
Strikeout.
Oh, yes. Strikeout.
Yes.
I felt that touched on it very well, and had a sense of realism to like gladiatorial fights between animals.
I actually have to agree with that, and I guess that episode does have one of the best moments to kind of like call back to what actually did start Hiccup on his journey to become like the greatest dragon trainer, and it was okay, yeah, I just realized what I said.
Like no one ever was.
Okay.
Training is my very best.
Okay. Yeah, alright. What the moment that actually... Alright, so let me rephrase that. And I think I think that episode did have one of the best moments, at least a moment that I thought was very meaningful. Because in the first movie, what the event that actually started Hiccup on his journey to taming Toothless and kind of ending the War of Dragons is that he stated how he just looked as scared as I was. I looked at him and I saw myself. And when you see Toothless, when you see Toothless, you know, he's seeing red and he's about to kill this triple strike, and he looks into its eyes and he stops. He sees that this dragon is in great pain. And so yeah, I thought that was a very good moment and a very good way to remind us exactly how we got started on this journey.
Good one.
Yeah.
And my third favorite dragon, since I've only named two, I gotta say Whispering Death.
Let's see. I remember one of our fans is actually a fan of Whispering Death. They're sisters. You remember? Let's see. You remember Branwyn?
Yeah.
Littlebird. Branwyn Gerard Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah, her sister. She loves Whispering Deaths. She's scared of them.
Oh, actually, I just remember a species I want to put on the top of my list now.
What?
Well, not top of this, probably now second. Death Song.
Death Song.
Yes.
There was a lot of good dragon designs. Yeah, and the Death Song is definitely one of them. It was a lot.
The Death Song is actually terrifying, but awe-inspiring.
It's a lot different from all the other dragons that we've seen in just movie 1 and the first 2 series. It's
Baby Garth.
Baby Garth.
Baby Garth.
Please bring Garth back for the third movie,
I
please.
know, jeez. Bring those dragons. Yeah, bring Garth, bring Windshear, bring Heather, bring Dagger, bring all those characters into this third movie. It could just they don't even have to speak. Just show that. If this is all about how the Vikings of Berk and the dragons are going to disappear, how about do a little silent funeral montage kind of thing so we can see them. I don't care how you do it. You don't have to give them lines. You don't have to make them part of the journey. Just show them.
Show them.
Please show Dagger and Mala with a kid, please.
Oh god.
And get Heather to hook up with frickin' Fish Legs,
yeah,
because he deserves it.
Oh god, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Don't just have them hook up. Have them actually be married.
Yeah.
Have them be married in the third movie.
Fish Leg doesn't have that many great episodes, which is sad because how many of them focus on him?
Yeah, there's very few. Yeah, Fish Legs does have very few good episodes.
kind of ironic because he's a nice kid, and at the other end of the spectrum, Snotlout has the greatest episodes, and he's a dick.
I think maybe, I don't know. I think maybe, I don't know why that is. I think maybe because we kind of know that Snotlout is just trying to hide by this tough, cocky exterior, but inside he's really just insecure.
Oh yeah. Now, that said, which dragons do you hate the most? Or not hate, but you like, really? That design? Boring?
Armor Wing.
Yep, I second the motion.
I don't know, maybe a Singe Tail, but I think, I don't know. I mean, they didn't.
That dragon had potential.
The dragon.
You mean a Mary Sue dragon?
The Mary Sue dragon did have potential, but kind of, seeing the kind of personality that that we've seen in that they have in season 5. I don't know. I kind of like them. They're not my favorite, but they're. Yeah, I think so far it's just the Armor Wing. Yeah, and the Catastrophic Quaken.
Oh yeah, that.
I'm going to disagree with the Quaken part because honestly, the Armor Wing just has lazy design, but it has an interesting premise. On the other hand, that B-52 Bomber Dragon.
Yeah, it's just the lower jaw.
Yeah, that's creepy.
It's creepy. Yeah, a little too Blade 2-y for me.
Although, I don't know if you remember this, John, but the Snapshopper has the same setup.
Oh yeah.
Although I think it works better on the Snapshopper.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just biased, but
probably.
For the actual premise of like a Venus flytrap dragon, I think it works.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Flight Mare.
Oh,
Oh
yeah, the Flight Mare.
That's an interesting looking dragon. A mystery class.
Mm-hmm. A very. Oh yeah, very nice little. Hey, wanna place any bets that a Flight Mare might appear in the Hidden World?
Oh, I would.
Oh,
yes.
yes. I mean, I don't have anything to
fits
bet.
right
Who
in.
wants fossils?
I mean, it fits right in.
It does.
What other dragons would we see in the Hidden World? Fireworms.
We do see.
Fireworm Island.
Fireworms and the Fireworm Queen.
Yeah, we haven't seen those lately.
No, they didn't show up for the finale.
Yeah.
It's the one dragon that we didn't see.
Well, maybe Mom was busy taking care of the kids.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I mean, why leave the nest when you have a bunch of babies to? Why leave the nest when you have a bunch of babies to look after?
Mommy's ready.
Yeah, so I can cut her some slack.
Okay.
Let's see.
I don't know. What about the Cavern Crasher? The salamander-looking one.
That's actually a pretty good concept and design.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I just don't like it. I can acknowledge good art, but I'm not partial to it.
Okay.
Well, there's a good reason not to like it. It eats babies.
Yeah, but what animal doesn't? What animal in nature doesn't?
Exactly.
Humans.
That's why it's okay. Yeah. Sure. Scrambled eggs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I just remembered another one. The Slitherwing.
Ooh, I love those.
Ooh. Let's see here.
Although I think they should have given those another episode. They have potential.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were still a little too. It was still a little too bright red for me.
Oh, actually, here's a weird thing, guys. So when I watched season 6, there was this one guy that stuck out so much. I wanted to see him again, but he never did. He only had one appearance.
Oh, are you talking about Anson?
Yes.
Oh, he
stands out because
I don't know why.
He stands out because
He
he's the
made
one
me
background.
cringe.
He stands out because he's the one background character that actually has a unique design. That's not cookie cutter.
I know. And I was like, you guys bring him back. He's awesome.
I mean, like I said, I'm kind of mixed on hitting on. Apparently, he was Dagger's bully.
Really?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was Dagger's bully when they were kids. Which I mixed.
I have a gripe about that. You're bullying the son of a chief.
Yeah, so was Snot Loud. Well, we don't really know the particular relationship between Dagger and Oswald. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it could be that similar to Stoic and Hiccup.
Gentlemen, since we have the third movie coming out and the series has wrapped up, what do you think the legacy of Dragons will be?
Well, the legacy, you mean?
Like how it would be remembered?
You mean kind of almost
How it will be remembered and the impact on people, like children and adults.
I think it will probably have the same impact that just like Jurassic Park had on all of us and all the other movies that we grew up with, like from Disney to Don Bluth to Toy Story. I think this had a very lasting impact.
Honestly, this is probably DreamWorks' version of a Disney classic. It's pretty much one of their classics at this point in time. Kind of like how back in the day, like, would anyone have saw how much of a following Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and The Lion King was going to have? I don't think anyone at the time thought, How to Train Your Dragon. Just think of the title. How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah. Okay.
But now you look at it now, when someone says, have you seen How to Train Your Dragon? Damn right I've seen How to Train Your Dragon. It's a freaking awesome movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
So to say that this is still going to be big, probably way years and years down the line. People are going to be showing this to their kids and their kids' kids, because it's essentially what is a movie where about a kid and his pet.
Yeah. Yeah, it essentially is. Ian, what do you think?
Honestly, I think that this is not just the first movie and not just the second movie, but all of it. This is really, so far, DreamWorks' crown jewel. I mean, we're going on what? It's been 8 years since the first movie came out?
Yeah.
This franchise has actually spanned the entire decade, from 2010 and now to 2019.
So it will have been 9 years since the first movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
Kids have grown up with this movie. I've grown up with this movie. My younger siblings love it. And honestly, if DreamWorks can top this, I don't. Well, firstly, can they top it? Currently? No. I mean, part of me actually wonders, like, might the first movie be remade down the line? It's possible. Remakes happen. Would I be against a remake? Debatable. But honestly, the way we sit right now with the third and last movie less than a year away, this will go down in history as one of the biggest franchises ever, because I mean, Jurassic Park has 25 years on it.
Yes.
And Star Wars is how old now?
41.
Yeah.
And How to Train Your Dragon will be 9 when it wraps up. And so, looking back on it, looking through the journey we've gone through with Hiccup and Toothless and all of the Dragon Riders, I mean, I was a kid when the first one came out. I was in 5th grade when the first movie hit theaters, and it was amazing. I mean, it not just the visual, just the world. It was a world that you would want to go to and visit, and even stay there and live there.
Mm-hmm.
The entire universe is so beautifully put together. I mean, this is probably a very influential movie in a lot of people's lives, kids and adults.
Can I make a comment on what you said? Like, if can they top Dragons? DreamWorks, can they top Dragons as their crown jewel?
Sure, go ahead.
Want to know my honest opinion on that? No. Is most because it's their business model and Jeffy, all the little Jeffy.
Jeffrey Katzenberg.
Yes. Not especially after when, you lay off half your workers because that's how you save up money. And their idea to make, better movies, you gotta find something that works by making something that goes to everyone. Not tell a good story. No, just spread the demographic a bit like Hercules.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, at this point, no. Not the way DreamWorks is being run.
I'd have to agree. Yeah, currently I don't think so far. Discounting Shrek, the only other popular franchises that DreamWorks has is Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon. With Kung Fu Panda 3, it felt a little predictable, and Jeffrey believes that that's a franchise that has six movies in it. Now, granted, it has all the other different aspects of kung fu and Chinese Buddhism. Okay, I can. Granted, again, exploring another facet of that region is good, but if the story is going to be the same, then really no matter what theme you explore is just not going to cut it. With How to Train Your Dragon, they got the right director and the right set of writers and the right cast who actually knew their limitations and was able to actually take something that is by all means obscure to us except kids, and actually bridge the generation gap.
Not only that, with so much changes from the book.
Oh yeah.
It ain't age where heresy.
And especially among the anime community.
Anime community, book communities. God, you should hear Yana egg on about Aragon and Harry Potter books.
But when the original author is able to just praise the first movie for keeping the spirit of the book in that movie, that is just high praise.
Yes. And so let me just say this in my belief that with How to Train Your Dragon, DreamWorks just caught lightning in a bottle, which they can never catch again.
And I'd have to agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I still stand by what I said in my top 10 animated films. Kung Fu Panda was a step in the right direction for DreamWorks. Coming off of Shrek the Third and the DreamWorks movies that were trying to appeal to adults, so they would have adult references.
Yeah.
But How to Train Your Dragon was a sprint. It was a sprint in the right direction.
And then it took flight.
Yes.
It took flight with movie 2, and we'll find out where this flight will take us, perhaps beyond the unknown reach.
An unknown reach. Well, I think that's actually a very good way to actually end this podcast.
Indeed. I have one more question for both of you, though, before we sign off.
Okay.
How are we gonna feel when we're done?
Empty.
This is probably the same way I felt when Lord of the Rings was going to end, or when the Avengers are eventually going to end. I'm gonna feel lost for a bit.
This could be the same feeling I felt when one of my favorite shows in anime, Clannad, ended in Eureka 7.
Yeah.
And I felt this big gaping hole in my heart, like, what am I gonna watch? I mean, yeah, I could rewatch this movie and series over and over again, but you can only rewatch something so many times.
But that's kind of why the hero's journey is so prevalent throughout the entire human history, because it's so much like us. When one journey ends, we just look for the next one.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how old you guys were when the first one came out, but
I was 20, so I was actually approaching 20, so I was already out of high school.
Yeah, I was in college. Oh, and let me give you a secret. I was actually dragged to see How to Train Your Dragon. I didn't actually watch it on my own.
You know what? Same here. I didn't see it on my own either. I didn't see it in theater. I didn't see the second movie in theaters either. One of my biggest regrets. It was a snow day in February, and I borrowed one of my sister's DVDs and put it in there.
For me, one of my female friends, Sherry, if you remember her, John.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I like dragons. Let's go see a movie. Okay. Like, there's a movie about this dragon. You gotta watch it. Okay, fine. And I was like, ooh, this is awesome.
So we've all had. Ian, what was your experience?
Well, when I went to see it, my mother took me and my sister, who's 2 years younger than me. When I went to see it, she didn't tell me what we were going to see when we went there. I mean, I knew it was coming out. I checked out the website. I read the first 3 books, and I didn't know really what to expect. I mean, I knew there would be dragon. I mean, it labels on the tin. Mm-hmm. But I don't... At the time, did any of us think that when this film came out, it would have this big of an impact on us?
I don't think so. And...
Because, looking back, I mean, the title, it says, How to Train Your Dragon. I mean, a title like that before this movie came out, what would you have thought?
I thought, oh, it's typical DreamWorks. In fact, that's what I thought. That is what I thought. No, it's DreamWorks. Jeffrey Katzenberg, he sucks. This movie's gonna suck.
To be fair, here's the thing in movie titles. When you put your title as not as a statement, it sounds very kiddish.
Yes.
For some reason, no, having like a 1 word or 2 words sounds adult, mature. Mm-hmm. But just say it. How to Train Your Dragon.
It's almost like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What the fuck?
Yes. Except this time it sounds like a self-help on how to train your lizard.
Yeah.
And in the first book, I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a book called How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, and it only had 1 page. just yell at it. And that's why and that's what makes the first movie so great, and because it still captures that spirit of exactly what is in the book. It's that just because someone tells you a certain way of doing things doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone. Sometimes there are other ways,
better ways,
and that's what the movie did. Hiccup has been told all his life that dragons are evil; they have to be killed. You got to be a Viking, and he comes across this Night Fury that is just pretty much challenges and shatters everything that he's been told and believed in. And he found a better way.
And I don't think it really is a better way than How to Train Your Dragon. The way the series has progressed. I can't think of a better way. I mean, yes, the series did have a few hiccups, pardon the pun, through it.
No, very appropriate.
Very appropriate.
But looking back, do you guys think that as a whole it could have been put together any better?
It could have,
but honestly, it's I mean, sure, it's rough around the edges. Pardon the pun on that.
We're very punny today, aren't we?
Yeah, we're very punny.
Indeed.
We're very punny.
Yes.
But if it's still coming, but if it still feels like a very fleshed out story, if the characters are also not only relatable but as well as fleshed out, then that's the best that they could do. Sure, you can do it better, but why would you do it? But why would you do that? I mean, it almost feels like doing what George Lucas did to the Star Wars movies.
I was about to make that comment, actually. I mean, the quote, there is a phrase, there's perfection through imperfection.
Yes, it is. That's exactly it. It's the imperfections that do make it perfect.
Because, I can nitpick at everything. I could, watch from the very beginning, at the Cartoon Network era, scream at Mildew to go away!
Yeah.
And go through all the ups and downs from Alvin Savage up to Dragon and his partying during the night in the Fury up to, to where we finally ended with this journey after going through, Riker, Vigo, Johan.
Mm-hmm.
Hogan.
Yes, that alien species from Mass Effect. And still fun ride. I will still have my nitpicks, but overall,
we'll all have our nitpicks.
And it's the journey that counts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we knew when we got into the series, we knew what the destination was going to be. There was no way around that. The destination was movie 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so if you were to go in this saying, I want to know what the destination, you're on the wrong ship.
Oh, yeah.
Because the whole point of the movies and the series is to just see Hiccup's journey. To how he goes from being the clumsy boy in movie 1 to being
the little hiccup.
To being the chief of Berk, to creating the first dragon Viking utopia in movie 3, and
seeing where his journey takes him.
You know what DreamWorks should make? Disneyland? Remake Berk, please.
Oh, that would be awesome. But I have a feeling that even if they had that wonderful idea, they'll still screw it up.
Well, you know what? Since Universal now kind of, Comcast owns DreamWorks now, and How to Train Your Dragon's actually going to be distributed by Universal. They could add that to their theme parks.
That is true.
I would pay so much money to go see that.
Actually, Ian, I want to ask you.
Yes.
Okay, so this is more like an animation question. Like all the companies out here, you know, Blue Sky Studios, along with Sony Animation and everything else. I have to wonder if it's just me. Do you believe DreamWorks is kind of fluttering a bit? And what I mean by fluttering is their only kind of hits are Shrek, the never-ending franchise. That's going to be milk until Shrek has no longer any insides.
Oh, that'd be nice. Shrek, the wheelchair years.
Yeah. Or in the fact that their only other hit is Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon. And then you look at the rest of their library, and what I notice is they really can't find their own kind of identity of what they really want to be. Disney knows what kind of movies it wants to make.
Yes, and
it has a formula practically, not just a princess formula, but it has a formula.
yeah, and how old is Disney now? Over 100 years or something?
Almost pushing 100 years.
Pushing 100 years. But
And DreamWorks is 24.
yes,
DreamWorks is 24 years old, so I mean, it might in part be age. I mean, look at the history of Disney. They fluttered quite a bit.
that is true. But Disney took risks.
Yes, and I can agree. I think DreamWorks should take a bit more of a risk. I mean, with a title like How to Train Your Dragon, I don't know of a bigger risk.
Let's not also forget their first venture in animation was The Prince of Egypt.
Yes.
Yes, and
Which I
there's
love.
yeah, but I mean, How to Train Your Dragon, I think is and will always will be their high point. I mean, now looking back over the years, we didn't get too much merchandise from the Dragon series, did we?
That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, it is a little surprising. I mean, we got some for the first movie, and we got some for the second movie, and we got a little bit for the series, but not on the level of like what Mattel's doing with Jurassic World now.
Yeah.
But I honestly have to admire that.
I kind of do too.
I mean, they're treating it like it's its own thing and not like a big cash grab where you can, I mean, honestly, they could, and they would make a lot of money if they threw in a whole bunch of toys and other merchandise, and that would be a great thing for them to bring in all that money. But honestly, why would they? Why would they need to? It has a very large fan base. It's one of the most popular franchises in their history. And honestly, How to Train Your Dragon, I don't really think it needs merchandise.
It'd be very rare for being one of the movies that don't.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think just the idea and how they put it together sells itself. I mean, you have the coming-of-age hero story, a boy and his pet, a boy trying to find his way and become a leader, and trying to make the world a better place. So, I mean, honestly, yeah, they could have like put a whole bunch of merchandise in it. I mean, I remember when the first movie came out, there was a lot of toys for that. And then, and I understand that, the studio would have been hesitant. Since it's a new venture, they want to at least recoup some money from it, if it didn't do well. And with the second movie, I think they knew that they didn't need a whole bunch of toys. And now, We're on what? How many years of Race to the Edge? 3 now?
Yeah, 3
Yeah.
years. Been the best 3 years of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, looking back, I remember a very few toys for Race to the Edge. I mean, yeah, they did some of the advertising for McDonald's with their Happy Meal toys, but that's really it. But I think overall the legacy of How to Train Your Dragon will be, like you said, the movie that we will show to our children and our grandchildren. We are going to sit them down, give them a bowl of popcorn, and say, "This is what I grew up with."
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I believe our